Hey guys, it's Haley and welcome to another bookish video. Today I have a massive haul for you. I, of course, got a lot of books for Christmas and I've been buying a lot of books with, I was gonna say with Christmas money, but no, just with my own money. I had some phenomenal trips to Half Price Books where I found some really great deals. I ordered a bunch of stuff off Pango, and I've also been doing some hunting for some vintage books. There's a lot to cover in this video. Some of these books I believe I hauled in a daily vlog during Vlogmas, so some of these might be repeated if you've seen that video, but if you haven't, you get to see all the new additions that have come into my shelves in the past month or so. But wait, before we dive into the haul, I do want to thank today's sponsor, which is Future. Future is an app that promotes wellness and fitness and will help you crush all of those New Year's resolutions and goals that you have for 2023. I have really been wanting to move my body more in this upcoming year. I'm not a big resolution person, but the time is now for me to start doing that. I, as most of you know, was diagnosed with PCOS this past year and it has been ravaging my body. I haven't been able to move my body as much as I've wanted to, and I've also been stuck in finding the ways that move my body that feel good for me and feels manageable with my chronic pain that I'm dealing with, and Future has been helping me so much with that. I've been working with a coach on Future's app named Ashley, and she has really helped me motivated to work out and also finding workouts that actually work for me, so I'm not just like at a loss walking into the gym and thinking, what am I supposed to do here? All of the trainers on Future are highly credentialed fitness instructors. These are not random people. They will help you keep your workouts fresh and fun and also keep you motivated, like I was talking about. When you sign up, you can have a video call with your coach who will design a plan completely unique to you. They can make a plan for you to go to the gym like me, or to do completely at home. There are voice prompts, video check-in calls, and messaging in the app so you feel like you have support right by your side if you're looking to start a fitness journey. Together, you and your coach can work to achieve your goals. And if something isn't connecting with your plan, like me, if my pain changes or something, I know that Ashley is there to help me change it up and not lose momentum. No matter your level, where you are, or any perceived limitations, which those are not limitations to me, your coach will meet you exactly where you are. So if this sounds like something you're interested in trying out for the new year, I have a special offer for you where you can have your first month completely free. Click my link down below and go check out Future. Get your free month trial. This is such a huge value. And now let's go ahead and get into the books. We're gonna start with probably my favorite gift that I got from one of my friends this year. Oh my God, she knows my taste so well. Her name is Bailey. I don't know if you remember, but I talked about her in my video where I read books outside of my comfort zone. I read her very favorite books, and she is a fantasy reader, so we have very different reading tastes, but she knows me so well. So she got me one of the best Christmas gifts I have literally ever received. Look at this. Are we kidding? Are we kidding? These classic horror stories in this gorgeous little edition of all of these classic horror authors like H.P. Lovecraft, Edgar Allan Poe, Bram Stoker, like all of these iconic horror stories. So I can't wait to get in here and learn some horror history, and just having this like beautiful edition just makes me feel very mysterious, like I am the object of Alex Turner's desires as he's singing You're So Dark. Like, if you know that song, this is very much giving that, and that is what I'm trying to be at all times. So love this. And then she also got me a coffee table book called The Art of Drag, which I'm literally so obsessed with. If you know me, you know I am obsessed with Drag Race. I'm obsessed with drag queens. Like, we were flipping through this together when I first opened the gift and we were literally obsessed. Like, the art style is so cool. There's so much queer history in here. Oh my god, I'm just so excited to have this, and I want to get like a little stand so I can put it up somewhere on the top of my shelves, I think, or on that shelf over there, and just like display it because the art is so gorgeous. I love drag so much. Bailey just really knows exactly what I would want 100% of the time. But now on to some things I did buy for myself. We have 9 Liars by Maureen Johnson. And this is a continuation of the Truly Devious series. I love that series. They're little YA thriller mysteries and they're just so easy to read. It's always just this like murder mystery structure with our main character Stevie, who is just like this Nancy Drew type of girl, and she goes to this school for like exceptional kids. So there's like a ragtag, very diverse group of teens that we're following solve these mysteries. In this book, it says there are 2 murders and 7 suspects with 1 killer playing a deadly game. So it sounds exactly like a classic murder mystery. Super excited to get into this one. Next, we have What Lies in the Woods by Kate Alice Marshall. And this one was my book of the month last month. It is their mystery thriller pick. And it is about 2 best friends who sent a killer to prison 11 years ago. And their town lauded them as heroes, but they were lying, and now the past is coming back to get them. I also got from book of the month Age of Vice by Deepti Kapoor, and this sounds like a crazy, fast-paced, emotional story about a hit and run that affects many people in like various different ways. So we are reading about the implications of this one moment in time. I haven't heard much about this one, but I'm excited to get into it. From Pango Books, I got A History of Fear by Luc Demas. And it's so funny because I was hearing so much about this one. I actually bought it, and then immediately after, I got multiple people reaching out to me directly and saying like, girl, you have to buy this book, way ahead of you. I was so excited to read it. It says it's a eerie literary suspense debut about the harrowing downfall of a tortured grad student who is nicknamed the Devil's Advocate because of his sensational crime, murdering a classmate and claiming the devil made him do it. Hello. I love dark academia, so I'm living for that, and just the whole like murder aspect, you know, I'm down. Next up, we have Highly Suspicious and Unfairly Cute. I'm so excited to get into this one. This is one of my 5-star predictions for 2023, and I really hope it works out. I love, love, love Talia Hibbert's writing style, and this is a YA about 2 best friends who kind of like faded away, went into different cliques, but now they're back at this nature camp together and they're rekindling a connection. I'm hoping to get to this one in February. I'm gonna do a romance vlog, or at least attempt to do a romance vlog for Valentine's Day. We'll just see. I haven't been in a romance mood, but hopefully this one will do the trick. And speaking of romance, I also picked up The Wedding Date by Jasmine Guillory. I've heard so much about this author, never read from her. So when I saw this at this like massive warehouse sale that I went to, which if you were watching Vlogmas, you saw that whole experience. It was very cool. I can link it above and below if you missed it and you want to watch it. But this was one of the finds that I got there for like $1, which is so crazy. And it is about 2 people who are unlikely to fall in love, but this guy is minus a +1. And then a power outage strands him with the perfect candidate for a fake girlfriend to use as a wedding date. So they get trapped together, forced proximity, they have fake dating, and it sounds like they're like an unlikely duo. So like hate to love kind of vibes, or I guess like bad first impression to love kind of vibes. Either way, I'm excited to get into this. I'm really hoping that I'm going to be in a romance mood at some point soon. At Barnes & Noble, I picked up the Once and Future Witches by Alex E. Harrow. And this one I picked up because of one of my patrons. Charlie actually is a mainly fantasy reader, it seems like, but she said that I would like this one, so I'm gonna trust her. I sent a message in my Discord and I was like, y'all, if I'm going to Barnes & Noble, what are the ones that I need to get? Your top favorites of 2022 that I just can't pass up and I need to prioritize this year. And this was the one that Charlie sent. I loved the cover and the deckled edges, so I really wanted a physical copy. Even if I don't like it, let's be honest, this book is gorgeous. And I don't really know what this book is about. It is set in 1893, which scares me, but it says there's no such thing as witches. There used to be, but now witching is nothing but tidy charms and nursery rhymes. If a modern woman wants any measure of power, she must find it at the ballot box. But when the Eastwood sisters join the suffragists of New Salem, they begin to pursue the forgotten words and ways that might turn the women's movement into the witches' movement. Okay, feminist horror, fantasy, witchy vibes. I'm nervous, I can't lie, but Charlie, thank you for the recommendation. I hope I love it. Something that I did not know existed was a Caroline Kepnes book that was not a part of the Joe Goldberg You series. So I was shocked when I saw this at Half Price Books, I believe, on super sale. It's called Providence, and I love Caroline Kepnes's writing in You, so I figured I would check it out. It's part love story, part detective story, and part supernatural thriller. Huh? That's a lot. So these two people, John and Chloe, are best friends. John's in love with Chloe, but before he can confess his love, he's kidnapped. And 4 years later, Chloe has given up ever seeing him again, but a few months before graduation, he reappears, but he's different now, okay? It's giving possession. He has strange powers that pose a grave threat to everyone he cares for. What? Meanwhile, in Providence, Rhode Island, healthy college students and townies with no connection are suddenly dropping dead. So a detective starts asking questions, and he is plunged into a whodunit worthy of outlandish obsessions. What the hell? This sounds crazy? Why have I not heard anything about this book? Okay, I feel like we need to get into the vintage stuff because if you don't know,
my hair is literally annoying the shit out of me.
But if you don't know, I have been recently getting into Fear Street and just like first editions of those classic nostalgic reads from my childhood. So I went hunting in all of these vintage bookstores, on Pango Books, and in Half Price Books for some first editions of Fear Street and Goosebumps, and I'll show you what I ended up finding. The ones that I'm most excited for are these two Fear Street first editions of Fear Park number 2 and 3. We have The Loudest Scream and The Last Scream. So I'm only missing the first Scream. I'm on a big hunt for a first edition copy of the first Fear Park, and I think it's gonna be so fun, like hunting around in all these stores. Oh my God, it's just like, it gives me a rush when I flip to the front of the book and I see that little one that indicates that it's a first edition, first printing. I'm so excited. And these are apparently pretty hard to find, the Fear Park series. So very happy to have them, not only for my collection that is just starting, but also because I've been loving reading these lately. Also found a copy of The Boy Next Door in a phenomenal condition. Literally blown away by this. And this is about a guy who lives next door to these two little girlies, and he's like the star of the football team, iconic, kind of like giving Archie from Riverdale. And these two girls are like fighting over him. Little do they know, his last girlfriend ended up dead. So I also have Wrong Number and Wrong Number 2. Both of these are also in wonderful condition. So cool. And I've heard that these are some of the best Fear Street books to read if you're just getting into the series. I'm not reading them in any order. I don't know if you have to, but I'm not. And this is like prank phone calls gone wrong kind of situation. Next up, we have The Secret Admirer, which is kind of similar to Silent Night, which I loved. It's about this like perfect girl. She's rich. She has it all. Her acting career is blossoming. So when she starts receiving bouquets of dead flowers from a person called the Sun, she thinks it's a joke, but she soon realizes this is no laughing matter. And she has this stalker who's becoming her nightmare. Another one in pretty great condition for a first edition. I don't know how I'm finding these, but it is such a rush when I do. And my last one for Fear Street is Truth or Dare. I absolutely love this cover. There's a little bit of like a sticker left on it, but I'm not gonna mess with it because I don't want to ruin it. And this is a murder mystery game that happened with 7 high school kids who are stuck at a luxury ski condo. Yeah, I'm obsessed. Just saying that out loud, I'm like, is this my next read? This sounds amazing. And then I have Night of the Living Dummy 2 and Night of the Living Dummy 3. These are both Goosebumps, and I'm still looking for a first edition of the first Night of the Living Dummy. These were my favorite Goosebumps books as a child, so it's been really fun, like remembering which ones were my favorite and going on the hunt for them. This little trilogy was my top priority, and I'm so glad that I found 2 out of 3, but the first one is really hard to find, so wish me luck. Next up, I have another book that my friend got for me. She found this in a Goodwill and read the back and was like, this sounds like Haley. So she got it for me, hoping that I hadn't read it yet, and I haven't. It is called The Sleeping Doll by Jeffrey Deaver. Don't know anything about this book, have never heard of it, so if you have any thoughts on it, leave it down below, but it sounds really interesting. It's about a woman who works for the FBI or like Special Secret Services California Bureau of Investigation, so I guess the CBI. And she's an expert in the science of interpreting behavior, which makes her a brilliant interrogator. But she's up against this serial killer who is a master of control and seduces and exploits people for his own murderous ends. To track him down before he destroys more lives, our main character must enlist the help of 4 people from his past, 3 women who lived under his sadistic sway in a cult. So, I'm not a cult girly, but this seems like it's not going to take place in a cult. It's actually kind of giving me like Notes on an Execution vibes, but maybe this will be a little more fast-paced, a little less like heavy and creeping and character-driven. So we'll see. This one's a total wild card. Next up, I have A Season with the Witch by J.W. Oker, and I read a fictional horror book by this author and really liked it. It's called 12 Nights at Rotterhouse, but this one is actually a nonfiction account of what it was like for this author to move his family to Salem. He moves his family of 4 to downtown Salem to firsthand experience a season with the witch, visiting all the historical sites and macabre attractions. That sounds so fun. I also want to do this. So I want to read this and then plan a trip to Salem at some point. It sounds so fun. Next up, I have Such Sharp Teeth by Rachel Harrison. I actually found a signed copy on Pango, so that was super cool. And I got it for a really good price too. So this is kind of iconic. I don't know if I'm gonna like it, but I do like Rachel Harrison. I've really enjoyed her in the past. So I'm hoping that I like this one as well. It's giving werewolf, okay? A young woman in need of a transformation finds herself in touch with the animal inside in this gripping novel from the creator of Cackle and the Return. So, we'll see. I like that Rachel Harrison does a lot of like character-driven horror, focusing on the woman who is the main character. So, never read a werewolf horror, at least not a modern one. I'm interested. Next up, we have a book that was kindly sent to me, and that is Full Brutal by Christopher Triana. I have really been enjoying Christopher Triana's work, so I'm excited to get into more. And this was sent by Justice, who says that I got them back into extreme horror in 2022, which is so great. So they decided to gift me a copy of this. I'm super excited to get to it. This is, of course, an extreme horror book. It's about Kim White, who is a very popular cheerleader. She's pretty healthy and comes from a well-off family and has everything she could ever want, but she's sick to death of it. Oh my God, this already sounds amazing. In search of something to pull her out of her suicidal thoughts, she begrudgingly decides to lose her virginity, having heard it's life-changing, but she doesn't want to do it in the same way of her peers. Instead, she seduces one of her teachers, hoping to ruin his life just for the fun of it, and this starts Kim on a runaway train of sadism as she makes every effort to destroy the lives of those around her. Okay, so this is giving like Jennifer's Body vibes in a way. This is giving like Lolita if Lolita was taking the power back. Wow. All right, I'm interested to see how a male author writes this story. This one's moving up my TBR for sure. Staying on the horror train, I also picked up Dead Leaves by Keelan Patrick Burke. And this is just 9 short little Halloween themed horror stories. I am wanting to do some type of Halloween moment coming up in the summer for Summerween because I always participate in Summerween. It is the most fun time. So thought this would be good for that, and I've loved Keelan Patrick Burke's short horror stories in the past. I also have another like YA middle grade horror book, and this is The Grin in the Dark. It's a spine shivers book, and it says, while babysitting his twin cousins one stormy night, Hamid Abdi sees an alert that a prisoner is on the loose. He doesn't think much of it until the twins tell him a man dressed as a clown has been coming into their bedroom. Still, Hamid thinks the twins are imagining it and puts them back to bed, but when he starts seeing and hearing terrifying things as well, will he be able to convince himself it's all just a nightmare? Are you kidding? I also picked up Falling by TJ Newman off of Pango Books. And this is one that I've been wanting to get to, but I wanted to read it physically, and I just literally could not find it anywhere. And to be quite honest, I didn't want to pay full price at Barnes & Noble, so I was waiting to find it either on Pango or in Half Price Books, and I ended up finding it on Pango. This is a really fast-paced story of a plane crash, and it's been compared to like Hostage by Claire McIntosh, which I know has not gotten the best reviews, but it was a 5-star for me, so I'm thinking that I just really like plane thrillers. We'll see with this one. Jumping back into romance a bit, I got Loath to Love You by Ali Hazelwood, which is just the 3-book bind-up of her little STEMinist novellas that have come out over the past few months. We have Under One Roof, Stuck With You, and Below Zero. 3 little romance novellas about women in STEM. That's another Valentine vlog hopeful. One of my other IRL best friends, Danny, got me another book for Christmas, and she was so worried that I was gonna have it already, but I did not, so success on her part. But she got me The Sweet Spot by Trish Dollar. And this is a grumpy sunshine romance about a single mom and a like inn owner who works at like a brewery slash bed and breakfast vibe kind of a place. And he offers her a job that is like saving her life. And of course, on the way, they fall in love. The next few are going to be repeats from the warehouse sale from that one vlog for Vlogmas that I was referencing. But I picked up Ghost Forest by Pik Xuan Feng, and this is a memoir about a woman whose father dies and how she's like coming back from that and how that deeply affected her life, her cultural identity, the way that she sees herself. It sounds very, very similar to Crying in H Mart. It's also beautiful. So really excited to get into this one. I haven't heard anyone talk about it. Also at that sale, I picked up The Spanish Love Deception by Elena Armas. And okay, I've heard very mixed things about this, but I want to form my own opinion. I want to know if I land on the side of all the people who are loving it. I just could not resist it for $1, so here I have it. I also picked up Prep by Curtis Sittenfeld. Curtis, I did not know this was written by a man. All right, this is following a girl named Lee as she goes to this prestigious private school called the Alt School in Massachusetts, and it's giving like all of the pains of adolescence. It's giving Gossip Girl. I'm excited for it. Also there, I picked up Gory Details by Erica Engelhaupt. And this is just like a nonfiction book about morbid and macabre science. I don't know, I think it sounds really interesting and fun. So here we are. Also there, I picked up Bomb Shelter by Mary Laura Philpott. I absolutely loved I Miss You When I Blink, which was another essay collection from her. And so I'm really excited for more little poignant essays, this time about love, time, and other explosives. I'm also surprised that I've never heard of this one, but I found this one at the warehouse sale as well. That is Influence by Sarah Shepard and Lilia Buckingham. It is a YA thriller all about these different influencers. One's like an Instagram girl, one's a TikToker, one's a YouTuber, one's a child star, and they seem perfect online. fine, but get ready for a twisty mystery that takes place in a fiercely competitive world of influencers. The sun is hot in California and somebody's getting burned. This just sounds so campy and ridiculous. I cannot wait for it. Also, for $1 there, I picked up Girl A by Abigail Dean. Girl, you didn't want to put your name on the cover? You wrote it. And I believe that this was a book of the month pick that I just never got from them. So I was excited to find it for very cheap. It says, you can flee your parents, you can bury your secrets, but you'll never leave behind what your siblings know. It's giving family trauma, fucked up family dynamics thriller. And the last book that I believe is going to be a repeat from that vlog is These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong. I heard amazing things about this from my friend Bailey. Even though we have very different taste, she is just adamant that I'm going to love this one. It's fantasy, so I don't know. But I have Chloe Gong's other book that I got on her recommendation as well. So maybe I'll have to do another trying books out of my comfort zone vlog. I don't know. We will see. Next, I want to move on to another little random Barnes & Noble trip. This was also when I was picking up suggestions from my patrons to read in 2023 based on their favorites of 2022, and I was very excited to go. I just kind of went a little bit crazy, as you'll see. It was on the same trip that I got the Once and Future Witches, but I put that one aside because I want to prioritize it. But I'm excited to get to the rest of these two. The first one is Cursed Bunny by Bora Chung, and this is a short story collection. They're all horror stories that blend horror, sci-fi, fairy tales, and speculative fiction into stories that defy categorization. They're thought-provoking and stomach-churning, and I've heard amazing things. And look at this little paperback edition. Like, are you kidding me with the deckled edges? Yeah, go off. I also picked up Baby Teeth by Zoe Stage because I've never read from her, and y'all know I love a creepy child story. I already know that I want to do a taste test of Zoe Stage's books when her new book Mothered comes out. So I'm planning on doing that alongside one of my patrons. I'm not gonna like call her out on this video because I don't want her to feel beholden like she has to do that video with me, but she also has a channel, so if that ends up happening, I don't want to put pressure, but if it does, I will tell you all about it. Link her channel. She's fun. I also picked up a copy of Flowers in the Attic by VC Andrews because this is a classic horror that I just haven't read. It was apparently like the salacious horror book that hooked everyone at like way too young of an age. I never got to this. Somehow it eluded my grasp as a fucked up little child. I'm sure you know what this is about. A perfect family until a heartbreaking tragedy shattered their happiness. The children must be hidden away out of sight as if they never existed on the top floor of their grandmother's mansion. Their loving mother assures them it will only be for a little while, but as brutal days swell into agonizing months and years, these children realize their survival is at the mercy of their cruel and superstitious grandmother. Ooh. It's giving fucked up family dynamics. Apparently it's really dark. You know I'm gonna sign up for that. Also, the dude at Barnes & Noble was like, when I was buying this, and I'm like, listen, just fucking scan it. Like, it's none of your business. It's really none of your business. Please do not judge me. Also on that trip, I got The Devil Crept In by Anya Alborn. I love Anya Alborn as well, so I'm excited to expand into more of her backlist. Hopefully, if I complete it all in 2023, I can give you guys a guide of all of her books. And the last one that I picked up from that Barnes & Noble trip is Just the Nicest Couple by Mary Kubica, which I plan on reading this month in a new release horror vlog. It's about a woman whose husband goes missing, and little does she know, but her best friend was actually the last person to see him alive. But her husband doesn't want her to tell anyone that she was the last person to see him alive because it would expose secrets about them. It's just giving a lot of domestic drama, and I'm already obsessed. Oh, I think I forgot to talk about this. This was an add-on that I got from Book of the Month, and it is The Rewind by Allison Wynne Scotch. It's giving like New Year energy, so maybe it'll be one that I pick up in February for a Valentine's vlog. It is about two exes waking up together with wedding bands on their fingers with no idea how they got there. They have just one New Year's Eve at the end of 1999 to figure it out in this big-hearted and nostalgic rom-com. I love that. I literally love the mystery of it all with a romance plot. This is something that I feel like I could get into, even in my romance slump. I also have a couple more books that were sent to me by the lovely Kelly. Kelly, thank you so much. I love you, girl. Kelly is one of my besties on Patreon that I have really gotten to know really well over the past couple months. And she so kindly sent me 3 books, one of which I have already given out to one of my friends. Not for permanent, like I'm getting it back, but I told her that she needs to read it. So I don't have The Truth About Melody Brown with me because it's with my friend, but she also sent that over. Thank you so much, Kelly. The other 2 I have here are Self-Care by Lee Stein, which I've been wanting to read for a while. And this is a thriller all about like social media and like kind of satirical commentary on self-care and cancel culture and all of these like hot button terms that we see on Instagram, but what do they really mean for our lives, you know? And it also has a character that was a former Bachelorette contestant. Yeah, this is gonna be drama central and I'm obsessed. And she also sent over Harrow Lake by Kat Ellis. This is a YA thriller about the daughter of a horror filmmaker who's not afraid of anything until she gets to Harrow Lake. It's giving me YA night film vibes, and anything that captures that like horror movie lover energy of night film, I'm so down. The last few books I have were just random little pickups, I believe from Pango Books or Half Price Books or, you know, somewhere like that. The first one I have is A Simple Plan by Scott Smith. Y'all know I love The Ruins by Scott Smith, so I definitely want to pick up more from him. I was also super intrigued by this book when Caroline Johnson was raving about it, so had to pick up her rec. The synopsis on the back is very brief. It says, 2 brothers and their friend stumble upon the wreckage of a plane. The pilot is dead and his duffel bag contains $4 million in cash. In order to hide, keep, and share the fortune, these ordinary men agree to a simple plan. It's kind of giving me Something in the Water by Catherine Stedman, which I absolutely loved, meets Hostage by Claire McIntosh, which I also absolutely loved. We'll see. I love a plane thriller. I know I got this one on Pango, and that is And There He Kept Her by Joshua Moling. This is kind of giving like Don't Breathe vibes, if you've seen that horror movie, about kids who break into this decrepit old man's house thinking, oh, we're just gonna steal from this little old man, what's he gonna do about it? But then, little do they know, this man is strapped up and he's literally ready to kidnap them and keep them there hostage and torture them. So we'll see. Sounds right up my alley. And the last book I have to haul for you guys today is Secluded Cabin, Sleeps 6 by Lisa Unger. The only thing that I've read by Lisa Unger so far is Confessions on the 745, which I didn't love. I actually think I didn't like it at all. It's not very memorable, but I believe I gave it 2 stars at the time. I'm excited to jump back in and see if maybe that was just a dud and I can enjoy something from this author. I also have another one of hers, Last Girl Ghosted, that I'm wanting to do a taste test with to see how I feel about her as a whole, because I don't think one book is totally representative of an author's writing style. You know, there could just be that one dud in there. And this one is like a closed door mystery about a cabin and 6 people, one of them's murdered, somebody murdered them, we have to find out who it is. Classic whodunit, isolated setting, perfect for this tail end of winter kind of time of year. But I've heard that this one is kind of slow moving, so we'll see. Everything I'm just like, we'll see. We'll see. That's kind of like my motto right now. We'll just see. Everything, we'll just see. My slump, we'll just see. Am I going to love any of these books? We'll see. Am I going to hate them? We'll see. Whatever comes, I'm just going to accept it how it is. That's kind of my intention going into 2023. So I hope you will stick around with me and see how any of these work out. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Thank you so much again to Future for sponsoring this video. Go ahead and check them out down below and get your free trial. It is completely free. You can cancel after your trial. No big deal. Just go ahead and try it out because I'm sure you're going to want to stick around. And don't forget to go to therapy and read a book this week, as I always remind you. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you in my next video.